week. Tales from the Bible depicted there were as colourful, in every sense, as those from classical mythology. The scenes from daily life, hunting and harvesting, love-making and lute-playing, were reimagined into timeless scenes of story. The great tapestry, known as The Triumph of Chastity over Love, based on Petrarch's work, would wind up in the king's collection, ironically. At table, vegetable salads and cheeses followed a bewildering array of meats. After all, the cheerless, meatless season of Lent was about to follow, however expertly king and cardinal's cooks might dress the eels and salt cod, the sea and freshwater fishes. Next, Wolsey's guests were led to a great chamber, decked by branches laden with costly wax tapers. At the end of the room stood a castle built of wood and painted green. The kind of lavish conceit designed to last just for the night at which the Tudor court excelled. Long lists in the royal accounts detail expenditure on these brief dramatic spectacles, on tinsel and costume, timber and carpentry. Just a couple of years later, the court would wonder for weeks over the military management of another such pretend castle, delighted to decide that it could not be won by sport, but by earnest. A latter-day equivalent might be the set for a stage production or a movie. Many years ago, when I was working as a film journalist, I visited the set of Braveheart, the movie. It was a night shoot, and the ruins of an Irish castle were standing in for the English subject of a brutal siege. What I remember most vividly is that only by tapping them could one tell the fake walls, created out of fiberglass by the production crew, from the ancient stone reality. But this was half a century before the British Isles' first playhouse was built in London, and though the church might excel in both ceremony and popular pageantry, to enact the secular religion of chivalry, there was no better stage than this one. No better place to be than the court. The castle was made up of 3 towers, each hung with a banner of 3 hearts rent asunder, of a lady gripping a man's heart, of a lady turning a man's heart. The castle was a staple of such pageant disguises, suggesting either a danger from which ladies had to be rescued or the lady's heart itself. A fortress defended by ladies throwing roses had featured in that medieval bestseller of courtly love, The Roman de la Rose. These 3 towers were occupied by 8 women dressed in white satin, with their names picked out in gold. Beauty and honour, mercy and bounty, constance and perseverance, kindness and pity. The qualities of the perfect courtly lady. If these pageants were the indoor equivalent of the tourney, as much an arena for competition and display, then the difference was that here women might take centre stage. Underneath the castle, as if in parody, were 8 other ladies, boy choristers of the Chapel Royal, decked out in Indian dress, with names like disdain and jealousy, scorn and unkindness. They stood poised to defend the Chateau Vert, for now entered maskers, disguised lords in gold caps and blue cloaks, with names that bore tribute to the chivalric virtues. Nobleness, youth, loyalty, gentleness. Their spokesman, Ardent Desire, was dressed all in crimson satin with burning flames of gold. The knights begged the ladies to come down, but Scorn and Disdain said they would resist, and Ardent Desire gave the order to attack. As real cannons boomed from outside the building, the knights pelted the castles with dates and oranges. The ladies fought back with rosewater and comfits, though the fake ladies, Scorn and her company, went as far as to use bows and balls. But at last the place was won. As Scorn and Disdain fled, the lords took the ladies of honour prisoner by the hand and led them down.